Welcome to SPU 67D Principles of Management 1. My name is Felicia Frida Aidan Aqua. I'll be taking you through this Unit 3, Environment, Social and Ethical Responsibilities of Business. We're going to focus our discussion on Session 5, the nature of business ethics. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain the concept of ethics. You should be able to outline the factors that determines one's ethics and describe at least 3 common situations that require ethical decisions. To start off, what is ethics? Now, we're saying that ethics is actually very difficult to define in a precise way. But ethics, according to Daft and Dorothy 2001, they are saying that it's a code of moral principles and values that actually govern the behavior of a person or a group with respect to what is right and wrong. That's a very heavy definition. So they're saying that when it comes to ethics, you're looking at a moral standard of principles and values, which is actually governing one's behavior or a group's behavior when it comes to what is right, what is wrong. So Snell and Sherman in 2001 also said that when it comes to defining ethics, you're looking at a set of standards of conduct and moral judgment that help people determine ultimately what is what right and what is wrong behavior. So you realize that yes, there's things which we deem as right behavior, there are things that we deem as wrong behavior. So if you are doing the wrong thing, then you are being unethical. If you are doing the right thing, then you are being what? Ethical. Example is when you're asking someone for something in the examination, that is unethical because that is wrong behavior. Whether you're failing or passing, that is not the place for that. So there are some things that helps individual form their ethics. Individuals' formation of ethics usually starts from our family influences. Some of us, the families we come in from, we realize that we are noted for nobility and all those things. We are very courteous. We are very, right in society. And so if you're from a family like that, you realize that ethics would come in a bit easy with you. But if you're from a place where everybody does what they like, Charlie, there's no right, there's no wrong. Whether you're killing somebody, you're slapping someone, abuse or anything, it is all accepted. Those places you realize that your ethics will be a bit skewed in there. So family influences come in as well. Peer influences. You realize that at a certain stage in life, peer influence comes in a lot. As people, you be having friends, and sometimes they may not. We all don't come from the same places, and so if I'm coming from a place where it's a bit clear, you realize that I'm going to influence you to have that kind of clear perception and judgment on ethics as well. So peer influences matters a lot. There's a saying that if you find a good person in the company of all bad, they would end up with also corrupting you. And sometimes you also have good people who also rub their goodness on the bad ones, which also influences them as well. Peer influence is also in the past experiences. You worked at a place where when you made some returns or there was excess money, you returned that money and you're rather chastised, you're rather humiliated, you're rather queried for returning the rest of the money. The next time, Charlie, it is all about spending, and wasting the money. And so some past experiences can also make people unethical. You can imagine where sometimes you're writing an examination, someone is cheating, and then you feel that it's not right, and you report the situation, and before you realize, you become the one who is victimized for actually saying the truth or talking about what happened. And all of these can make people then become unethical as well. Basic values and morals. Some people have no values, some people have no morals, everything goes for them. And so for such people, realize that they're a bit more unethical. But some people have some basic values of honesty, integrity, and all those things. And so you realize that the values that you stand by or the morals that you grow with are the ones that are also going to inform your individual ethics as well. And sometimes situational factors also come in there as well. You can imagine when, let's say you are a finance manager where you find yourself and you're the only one who knows your company has been evading and avoiding some taxes as well. And you know that if you go and report it, the business is going to collapse. And you know that is where your source of income comes from. By the end of the day, if you're also not reporting it, then you're not being a good citizen. You're not doing the right thing. Your profession, you're not adhering to that professionalism that is in there. Would you say, would you not say, especially when your livelihood is in there? Maybe your mother is sick in the hospital somewhere, you have to find all those things. So sometimes situational factors in there can be a bit dicey and they can get you thinking, am I being ethical? Am I being ethical? Your friend who is sick, who is in the exams hall, and you know this person, she just came from the hospital or she's in the hospital and she's come to write a paper, and this person is struggling. Would you tell the person the result? Will you sneak and then you helping the person and then passing things to the person, or you just let the person sit and then fill that paper? Situational factors come in there as well. So when it comes to ethics and management, we're saying that management has a role they play in there. There's a relationship of the firm to the employee. There's also the relationship of the employees to the firm, and then the relationship of the firm to the environment. We're going to look at all of these one by one. How does the firm affect the employees, and how should they act ethically to there as well. So when it comes to the relationship of the firm to the employee, how we hire, how we fire, we need to be very careful. You know, sometimes you may go for an interview and the moment you come in, because of your gender, because of your race or something, they just don't hire you or something. That is unethical. It shouldn't be based on nepotism. It shouldn't be based on race, on gender, and even on social class. And so how the firm would hires and fires people, ethics comes in there as well. Wages and working conditions. Why should we be doing the same work and someone is earning more, someone is earning less? Where is that fairness? Where is that justice? So you realize that the firm to the employees, you don't want to have favorite employees who will be earning more, and then the disliked employees, those who are always complaining, or those who are always, who are not friends or favorites of the manager or something, will be earning less. Working conditions. We've talked about safety in there. We've looked at having the place conducive. Would it be right to have a whole flat or building? When you go to our marketplaces, you can have a whole block of stores, about 20-50 stores, and there's no washroom in there. Is that ethical? Is that right? Will the workers not hygienic and unhygienic factors? So at the end of the day, these matter in the privacy. Privacy. Employees have to have a level of privacy. And so you realize that in Ghana, if you have a building and there are CCTVs in there, you're supposed to have a public notice of it. And everybody knows that there is recorders by CCTV in there. So if the person knows that what I'm going to do, I don't want it to be filmed or captured, they don't come in there as well. But sometimes you go into some places and then your business is everybody's business, which is not supposed to be so. And so we've seen employees who have taken some managers on or some businesses on because they feel their privacies have been evaded. When it comes to even the use of data and data privacy, these days data protection is very key in there. The fact that I'm your employee doesn't mean my personal details should be out there, or how they are handled and how they are worked with. So this is also very key in there. The relationship of the employees to the firm. Sometimes conflict of interest is there. Are you going to look for your personal interest or for the interest of the firm? Like I was talking about the earlier ethical dilemma. If you are the finance manager and your company, Charlie, they've evaded and avoided some taxes, big dick. And then at the end of the day, if you go and tell, your company is going down. If you don't go and tell, you know that your conscience is also killing you. What do you do? Some of the work we do, you know that Charlie, this one is your own interest though, like something for the boys for you or something. Would you look out for your interest over the interest of the organization, or are you going to look out for what the organization's interest first? Secrecy and espionage. Just like privacy is key when we're handling employees, employees have to also look out for what secrecy and espionage when it comes to the firm. So because you know, or because of your position or your work in the business, you may have some information. That does not mean your mouth should do procure and then you go out there and be spreading things about the company. That is also not ethical in the honesty and expense account. These days, honesty, integrity, and things are things we battle with a lot. And this is something employees owe to the firm. When it comes to the firm and the environment, the firm has to look out for the customers. And we made mention in our earlier presentation that when it comes to even privacy and packaging, it comes to quality, it comes to safety and all these things. These are things that the firm owes to the environment. When it comes to our competitors, even how we work with them, yes, we owe that word to them. We should be ethical in there. You know, sometimes when the competition is too much, we see firms doing wild things, going like extremely just to make the sales, just to make the numbers. People have pulled other people's businesses down. People have gone illegal just to keep up with what competition. At the end of the day, is it morally right or wrong? We also have our stockholders, people who have their monies in their shareholders. We may look out for our interest because if the business is doing well, we are getting more bonuses and things. Are we going to look out for paying dividends? No. So we realize that sometimes we're not being too ethical with these people as well. Our suppliers and our dealers. How are you doing your sourcing? You know, sole sourcing and all those issues. Sometimes you're taking suppliers who are your family members. Is that ethical? Is that moral? Do they have that qualities? Do they fit? Or are they the right people to use? Or is it because the person is your sweetheart or the person is your family member or something? That is why you're sourcing from that person. These are all things you'd have to look out for. Unions, I made mention earlier that these pressure groups are looking for the interest of their members. Sometimes, you know, when the strikes and things come, some people go and give some envelopes, and the top people at the top there, instead of looking for the interest of their people, then look at their own interest and then they go away. But how we actually ask ourselves, are these ethical? Is this ethical? Is this right? The community, we are supposed to be what? Social citizens, good citizens in there. And so we have the responsibility to be ethical in the environment as a business. And so you need to know when it comes to even protecting the environment, when it comes to pollution, it comes to waste and all those things, we have to be ethical in there. So in this session, we've looked at the nature of business ethics, where we've looked at the meaning of ethics, the formation, as well as some linkages between what ethics and management. Thank you.